Football is back, and so is winning season at MyBookie. NFL, college football, and a brand new cash-out system give you options on how to bet and to win all season long. First two legs of your parlay hit? Great. Get out while the getting is good. Cash out and use the funds on another bet, or let it ride for the chance at a bigger payday. Use early cash outs as a tool to stay in control of the action at MyBookie. To get started, go to mybookie.ag now and register for an account for free. When you're ready, make your first deposit. Just use promo code ZABE, Charlie, Zulu, Alpha, Bravo, Echo, and grab a welcome bonus on the house. That's promo code ZABE to claim your deposit bonus. And for a limited time, a free chip to use in the MyBookie casino. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
This is where the DJ talks. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Okay, hey, don't say anything about the Mets-Brewers game. It's going on right now, Hoser. I'm watching it on delay.
Oh, beauty, go.
Botched it, Charge. Total botch there.
Now, look, your hit rate's still pretty good. I don't know.
I stumbled.
I think you owe us a bad one. It's fine.
I know. I stumbled over the coo instead of the loo-coo-coo. Kulu-coo-coo, or however the fuck it is. It's so funny people get so into the details, you know?
Yeah.
But then again, you know where the devil lives? In the details. And I am a man who wants to get the details as right as possible. And I strive, but I fall short time and again. Doesn't mean I'll stop striving. I make big mistakes, including yesterday, my guest, Hatch, told the exact same story he had told on this podcast about a month ago. And I was like, I think I've heard this story before.
I've done that before on this podcast, too, and I've done it in the last month or so.
I don't think
have
you really?
You've told which stories? Yeah, I've done. Yeah.
I always, whenever I do a story, I have two things in mind. One, 2 minutes max. A 2-minute story is long enough for anyone's fractured attention span. And the second thing is I always think of, and I do, is I say, stop me if you've heard this one before. Always I disclaim that.
Well, okay. Related to that, I'd like to tell you about Hedy Lamarr. She's got an amazing story in an in 1918.
Oh, my God. Please, no more Hedy Lamarr. That will live in legend. We're going to start with a story tonight. Then we're going to get to Davante wants out, the Monday Night Football quarterback carnage, the completely idiotic end-of-game onside kick penalty, your Vikings beating my Packers, a Pete Rose story, and then automated everything and a bunch of other stuff. But first, the story of how I cost Charch's dad big money. $800, I hear.
$800 for my dad. So, 2 Saturdays ago, my dad's over at the house, and I'm like, you know what? I bet he'd enjoy trying out Zabe's Quest 3 headset, which is now in my possession. You were nice enough to box it up, send it to me, and Dad puts it on. We play First Encounters, which I know you know that game, where it takes a scan of the room you're in,
right, and
then does crazy stuff like tear it visually. It looks like your walls are being torn apart and aliens are coming into the room and you're shooting the aliens.
Little cute fur balls are breaking through your walls and you have to shoot them with a laser gun. Pew, 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 pew. It's not violent. It's not scary, but it's high energy, and it's a mixed reality game because it blends your physical environment, your own walls, couch, desk, whatever's in your room, with a virtual overlay, which is awesome. Really well done.
It is. It's a great introduction. And my dad's 85, by the way. So not a young man. Yes, and he's doing great mentally and physically. But not, and he sees that and he's like, whoa, this is great. Now, my dad his day in and day out. First half of his day, he's puttering around with the stock market, shifting, $8 here, $12 there. And then the second half of his day is mostly YouTube videos of various things that have happened to have caught his eye. So I bring up the YouTube app, and I didn't know this. YouTube has got a bunch of VR ready videos. Some of them have 360-degree viewing angles,
which you can watch with the Quest 3 headset, and it's quite immersive.
It is immersive. And I was I'm pretty jaded about this stuff. I like to consider myself on the bleeding edge of a lot of technology, but I'm looking at this, and there's a walking tour down Bourbon Street, and people come right up to you and they're interacting and stuff. It's all pre-recorded. They're not responding to what I'm doing, but it was remarkable. And I put it on my dad, and he's blown away. And at that point, he's like, well, that's it. I got to go buy one.
That's it. Got to go get one.
Got to go get one. And so off we went to get the Quest 3. Now, what we did not know is that 2 days later, they were going to announce a cheaper, slimmer, scaled back version of the Quest 3, the Quest 3S, which is less expensive, but doesn't matter. And so my dad ended up buying a brand new Quest 3. You have to get the better strap and all the other, a couple other little items for it. Yep, $800 in and out. You cost my dad. Little did you know, sending me your headset would set my dad's pension back, but that's okay.
You know what? That overjoys me that your father loves technology so much that at 85 he'd be like, "That's it. Let's go get one." That's right. That's fantastic. That's a heartwarming story right there. Now, what is not such a heartwarming story, and I think we might have talked about this on the air, maybe not, was that I said to Charch, I'm like, enjoy my headset in good, health, and just remember it's the worst VR consumer headset we'll ever have. And you said, well, yeah, not so fast, because you say that the category itself of tech is sort of meandering right now. It's potentially stalling, much like HD DVD.
Yeah, HD DVD. That's right. How about the curved televisions?
Remember no, I'm sorry.
Or
not
3D television.
Not HD. Yeah, not HD DVD, because that exists with Blu-ray. That's a 4K signal. You can get 4K DVD, although there's not a lot of 4K physical content out there, or even streaming content out there. But it's the 3D TV that has failed. Yeah. Yes,
that's all. Yeah, failed and significantly at that.
I hope it doesn't stall. I hope that freak Zuckerberg makes a Quest 4. I'll fucking buy it.
Well, I have news on that front. Oh. New news. About a week ago, Zuckerberg did a sort of state of the union on his VR work, and here's what is coming next. He showed us the prototype of the next VR, which is the size and weight of a pair of glasses.
Whoa.
Yep.
That wraps around your eye sockets, I trust, because you need it to wrap around.
What it's doing, it's entirely AR driven, and it is much more designed to be like an overlay over your vision, allowing you to do and see all kinds of things that are that in the same time as you're looking at your surroundings in your room.
In other words, Terminator glasses, where data gets superimposed as you're looking around.
Yes.
And enemy, potential threat, cheeseburger, traffic,
right. Calories. That's right. Yes, yes.
I would have mine set to Pop-Tart locator, and it would just hone in on my favorite flavors of Pop-Tarts.
Who buys the unglazed Pop-Tart? What is wrong with you? What went so horribly wrong with your life that you were like, I need to deprive myself from the glazing, the icing on the Pop-Tart?
That was for moms that felt that they were too indulgent and they were trying to be a little bit healthier. And they're like, you still get a Pop-Tart, Johnny, but the unfrosted version. Boo. Of course, nowadays the Kellogg's Corporation is doing such a shitty job with quality control. I dare anybody find me a actual Pop-Tart that matches the icing coverage on the wrapper itself. Does not exist. Haven't seen it in fucking years. And I tweeted at Kellogg's about this with a picture, and they DM'd me, and they sent me coupons for free Pop-Tart.
That was worth it. That was worth it.
That was
you're 100%
worth it.
Correct.
Right, but they were still crappily frosted. Like, I would go Pop-Tarts Max, which would have frosting that literally drapes over the sides.
Yes.
And there's no crust whatsoever.
How much more would you pay for Pop-Tart Max that is corner-to-corner icing coverage?
Take my money.
Right?
How much? Whatever it costs. Take it.
The only bad part of the Pop-Tart is the corners. They are uniced and they're unfilled. We got to find a way to have a cornerless Pop-Tart.
How about this? Fuck a duck. The Mets are putting up a huge number right now in the 5th against the Brewers. God damn it. Update from AmFam. Mets now 8-4 over the Brewers. This is a 5-run inning in the 5th, and they still got 2 runners on, 2 out. They're into our bullpen. They're fucking around. God damn it. Okay, where were we? Pop-Tart. So what we do is we get a fully filled Pop-Tart, so no crust. We ice it corner to corner, and then we flip it, and we ice the back.
Oh!
Now, my friend, we are talking.
I had never thought of the reverse icing. Can we make it thicker so that I get more of the inside jelly stuff?
Yep. I mean, look, while we're on the rocket sled to diabetes and Wilford Brimley, the diabetes is going to get us all, then let's just get there quick. Let's get there quick and get it over with. By the way, Pete Rose apparently died of heart disease and diabetes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Not surprised.
Just came out today. You have a Pete Rose story as well.
I do have a Pete Rose story.
Let's get this story out of the way, then we'll get to the Davante Adams, Vikings, and more in the NFL. Go.
Stop me if I've told this one before, or God forbid I clock in at 2 minutes and 1 second, Zabe.
Mm-hmm.
The year is about 20 years ago. My friend Charlie, who was a producer at KFAN, has a new job running the All Sports channel in Las Vegas, a nationally syndicated sports talk channel, and I don't remember what it was called at the time. And Pete Rose was one of his daily shows. He had a 3-hour-long show in the afternoons that he did from MGM Casino. Now, and I'd visit him. I'm visiting Vegas, so I go see the show, and he's going to introduce me to Pete, and I'm going to do a segment on the show. Now, while I'm waiting to do my segment, and I'm with my buddy who's right next to Pete, and we're in the sports book, he hits a pick six for $30,000 while I'm watching him. I'm right there. He hits the pick six. He's going nuts. There's a couple of his friends or people who know him or whatever. They're going crazy. There's all this cheering. Everybody's all excited. My segment comes up, and they're too busy partying and, $30,000, blah, blah, blah. I do my segment, get done.
1 minute warning.
And Charlie, my friend, introduces me to Pete. And I say to Pete, congratulations, you just made more money than some people make in a year. It's, $30,000 20 years ago was not half bad money. Pete looks me in the eye and says, I don't bet on sports. I'm standing right next to him in a sports book while he hit the pick six.
Wow, Pete Rose not being honest and upfront about, shit he did. What a shocker there. He lied for years about betting on baseball as the manager of the Reds. And then finally, he couldn't stop lying anymore, admitted to it. He was trying to get in the Hall of Fame. I don't know. Here's the one thing about Pete Rose. I mean, to me, Pete Rose is the modern Babe Ruth. He is like the embodiment of baseball in our day and age. He may not have been, he had 17 All-Star appearances on
which is insane.
5 different positions, too. 5, yeah.
Oh, my God, I had no idea.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, probably a couple outfields, first base, and something else. But he was just the embodiment of baseball. He's a ball player's ball player. And so I remember the iconic photo of him diving headfirst into third with this big shock of hair flying. And so I went to Google. I'm like, Google searching the image. There's like 50 of those pictures in all different settings. Like, he didn't just do that once. There's a ton of pictures of him 2 feet off the ground, perfectly horizontal, diving headfirst into the base, which I don't even think is a technique that's taught anymore. Because it's too easy to get
probably
into.
Dangerous. Who knows,
yes,
right?
Dangerous. Did Pete Rose have any sliding gloves on in those photos to make sure his precious little fingers didn't get an ouchie? No, he didn't. Because he was a man's man. He was a degenerate too, a bad guy, a gambling aholic, and a liar. But that's okay. None of us are perfect. So
none of us are, no, and Pete wasn't. My friend Charlie, who got to know him pretty well, he produced his show for 4 years, so got to know Pete quite well. What he said about the whole betting thing was he had told himself so many times he didn't bet on baseball he believed the lie. Yeah. He believed the lie.
Yeah. Die with the lie. Hiring with Indeed, your search is over. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Indeed's matching engine leverages over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, constantly learning from your preferences. The more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/Zabe. Just go to Indeed.com/Zabe right now and support our show, saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/Zabe. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Football is back, and so is winning season at MyBookie. NFL college football and a brand new cash-out system give you options on how to bet and to win all season long. First 2 legs of your parlay hit? Great. Get out while the getting is good. Cash out and use the funds on another bet, or let it ride for the chance at a bigger payday. Use early cash outs as a tool to stay in control of the action at MyBookie. To get started, go to mybookie.ag now and register for an account for free. When you're ready, make your first deposit. Just use promo code ZABE, Charlie, Zulu, Alpha, Bravo, Echo, and grab a welcome bonus on the house. That's promo code ZABE to claim your deposit bonus. And for a limited time, a free chip to use in the MyBookie casino. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Yep.
Okay, let's get to the NFL. Davante Adams officially wants out. This started to occur last week when he pulled up with a hamstring on Thursday.
Hamstring.
Quote, hamstring, right? Then there was a post from SI that said he might have played his last down as a Raider after their win on Sunday against the Browns. And then their coach, Antonio Pierce, liked that post about Davante, which raised more eyebrows. And then as of this morning, Tuesday morning, he was on the Kay Adams show up in Adams, and Kay is working like his therapist, just trying to be so nice and warm and a safe spot for him. And she's so lovely when she does that. God, it makes me fucking horny. Like, she's like, what's going on? What's the story? And Davante was playing it especially coy, like, well, I haven't talked to anybody with the team, and I'm just trying to do the best I can to get back on the field and help the Raiders. And you're like, bullshit. And then by 4 in the afternoon, it's official. Schefter, others reporting, he has requested a trade. What can the Raiders get? Can they move him? And where might he go?
All right. So first, the contract is something that has to be renegotiated because he's got the flim flam of I know they backload a bunch of money into these deals, and then nobody really thinks they're going to have to pay it.
Somebody will eventually be holding the bag. It's the credit card method of paying for superstars in the NFL. It's on layaway. All the big money is in later years.
That's right. And, it's set up in such a way that the teams can cut you without having to take a big penalty. But he's due next year like $36 million and $36 million a year after that. So it'll take a renegotiated contract, which he would get from the acquiring team. But Davante may not want less total money. You might still have to pony up a lot of money. And then you may have to extend it out a couple of years. And it's not clear how many good years Davante Adams has left. So that is certainly an X factor here. Now, I still think he's a very good receiver. He had a great game in that big Raiders upset a couple of weeks ago. He made some fantastic catches in that game. He's still a good player. So now let's look at teams that could be potential buyers. You need to have some assets you could give away to see, do you have a second round pick next year, which is rumored to be the cost. You have to have cap room, which is really important. You need cap room. Right. You need to have a quarterback requisite of adding this talent to. You also need to be a contender. You need to, or believe you're a contender. Okay. And you need one more thing. You need to have a gaping hole at number 2 wide receiver. And there is one team that has all of those things.
All right. Can I guess?
Yes.
The Rams.
No.
The Niners.
No.
They already blew their cash on Ayuk, who's the most
and they don't have any money. That's
the most expensive WR3 out there. Is it, God dare I say it, the Commanders?
Yes, it is the Commanders who check all those boxes. Wow. All of them. The Commanders have tons of cap space. They desperately need a number 2 receiver. They don't have one right now, and they don't have one in the pipeline. I don't see there's any talent coming at the number 2 receiver position. Terry McLaurin would finally be looking at single coverage. I mean, and you would imagine what that could do to the already amazing career arc we're seeing of Jaden Daniels. I mean, this would be fantastic for him to have a player who's going to be in the right place with separation. He'll catch everything you throw his way. Wow. It would make so much sense. Your Commanders are in first place in their division right now. This would be an FU move to the rest of the division that Washington has never had the wherewithal to pull off before.
Wow. Yeah, that'll be something else. Do you think he fucked up by leaving the Packers?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. But he wanted more money.
That's it.
Now Packers said that they offered him a competitive number. He also thought, hey man, this would be great. The Raiders are coming off a good season. My boy Derek Carr from college is rolling, which he was at the time. And then things changed because in this league, things change like the Scottish weather. It's the whipsaw league, the kaleidoscope league. What you saw a second ago is now an illusion. And that brings us to Miami and good old Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy he's looking like a fool right now because nothing is working. And it's all because his quarterback is a jellyhead, bless his heart, and I'm a Tua fan, but he is. And nothing adds up when your quarterback ain't in there.
Yep, it's a quarterback-driven league. I mean, look at the Panthers, for Pete's sake. They went from absolutely hopeless to incredibly bad, by far the worst team in the league. And then they change quarterbacks and they go upset victory and then play a very tight game the next week. And Dalton looks really good in the exact same offense. I don't think this is about Mike McDaniel's a bad coach. It's just he has non-functional quarterbacking, and you can't survive in this league that way unless everything else has to be awesome for you to survive non-functional quarterbacking. And that's not where they are with, Tyler Huntley and Tim Boyle and Skylar Thompson. I don't think you couldn't dig up Tom Landry and have him get W's out of that.
Yeah. So look, I'm not anti McDaniel per se. I like him. I think he's a smart coach. I'm anti the Mike McDaniel hype. Because
it is high.
The hype. Well, this summer the hype got completely out of control. He was the it coach, the young, hip, empath, relate to the modern player, hey, cool, man, let's run some triple reverses, bro. All right, way to go, dude. Because when you're winning, that's all cool. When your quarterback goes down and shit's hitting the fan, next thing you know, Tyreek is screaming at guys on the sideline.
Yeah.
That said, there is 2 other things I wanted to talk about in this game. Will Levis got hurt for the Titans. This is a blessing because Will Levis stinks.
He's so bad.
He's so bad. And Bill Barnwell of ESPN, either he's a quiet fan of mine or he's stealing my bit or he just is a great mind that thinks alike, because he tweeted, Will Levis looks like the guy you would cast in a Hollywood movie about playing quarterback. And I've already called Will Levis the Netflix quarterback. He's the guy Netflix would hire to be a quarterback in a movie about football because he looks the fucking part.
He does. But he does.
But he cannot play it. Can't do it in real life. But goddamn, he looks like a quarterback, right? And so if
you were to do the perfect picture of an NFL quarterback that you
Will
never
Levis.
had to see a pass thrown in your life, that would be him.
Well, someone else tweeted, the crazy thing about Will Levis is he's never been good at any level. He's never won anything at any level. But then you look at the potential, and that also hasn't been there either. So he gets hurt, and he's on the sideline, and he makes a face that looks like the most pussified, soft as baby poop, ow, I'm hurt face. Did you see the face he made on the sidelines last night? You have to look it up right now if you can, if you got a free computer to look it up. But listen, Will Levis could kick my ass with one hand tied behind his back. He's a tougher guy than I'll ever come close to being. He plays in the NFL, even though he plays like shit. That said, I don't ever see NFL players making that kind of a face on the sideline. It's not good. So that was one thing from last night. And
Will Levis face. Okay.
Just see what comes up. Will Levis injury face.
Yeah, all right, looking.
All right, see if it comes up. While you look that up, nobody fucking knows the kickoff rules, especially not the onside rules. Here was the call from last night with Cleet Blakeman. Normally reliable, the jug-eared Cleet Blakeman, pretty much stammering.
Jug-eared?
Oh, yeah. Stammering, stumbling, not knowing what the fuck he was talking about.
So all the Titans come up. And
can you hear this?
That sky punt, which you could just...
Yeah.
On the bounce, they get away from it.
The great Chris Fowler on the call.
They didn't call an onside kick.
In this situation, the kicker kicked the ball beyond the landing zone. So there's a penalty for illegal kick, and it's enforced from the 20-yard line, half the distance to the 10. It'd be first down.
And it's been even.
then he just points. So I guess nobody really knew that there was a landing zone on onside kicks. That also is 10 yards. It has to go 10 minimum, but it can't go more than 20.
20.
And you are allowed to punt pooch it like they did, but if you declare you're going to onside kick it, you can't then sneak long kick it. You have to follow through with your threat. And the penalty for that is so drastic because they give it like half the distance to the goal from where you kicked it, which is the 10-yard line. It's a 24-12 game. There's 2 minutes and change left. The Titans are just going to try to run the ball, get out of there. And on fourth down, they run it in to bust the over, which was hilarious. Did you see that?
I did.
He's trying to bounce it to the edge. Pollard going for the pylon, diving, signal, touchdown. What a way. Tennessee.
What a fucking way to lose the over-under, right?
It was 9-3 at half. And it went over.
It was so bad. And, of course, I saw where Goodell was quoted as saying either today or yesterday that maybe they should move the touchback up to the 35.
Yes,
to
that's
encourage
exactly
teams.
what they should do.
It's so fucking stupid. Onside kicks still happen. traditional onside kicks in college because fuck them kids, I guess is the NFL's thought. They can get their brains scrambled, but we're not going to get our professional brains scrambled.
Nobody's brains are getting scrambled on onside kicks.
I agree.
And I hate the fact that you have to declare it.
I know.
The fun of the onside kick was every now and again you didn't know if it was coming.
Like to start the second half of the fucking Super Bowl, Sean Payton balls the size of church bells. Well, it's needless pussification of the game by Goodell and the owners for fear of lawsuits because there's money. The college kids do it. Hell, your Gophers got fucked. Fucked so bad.
Ever.
That they had to change the rule or they changed the officiating mechanic in the Big Ten. They said, we're going to allow for another set of eyes to line up on onside kicks at the line of scrimmage. And I'm like, bitch, you already had two guys on that line, and they still missed it. And where's all the Kings replay machines? And where's the Kings VCRs?
I knew you would turn it into this.
What do you mean turn it into? Why couldn't they fix it on review? I don't know.
They should have. It should be a reviewable play. The Gophers got screwed. For those that don't know, they're playing Michigan. Obviously, Michigan's heavily favored.
Yeah.
They got it all the way down to an onside kick to potentially win the game on what would have been the last possession. They successfully got the onside kick. But wait, whistle, illegal procedure suggesting that somebody got ahead of the kicker and the kicked ball, but they didn't. And it was a bad penalty, and the Gophers did recover it, and they would have been in virtually in scoring position right there.
Yeah.
Tough.
Very, very frustrating for sure. Okay, couple of things real quick, and then we'll get back to the game. Man, my Brewer buddies, my Milwaukee guys, they are an absolute snake pit of negativity right now on the talk and text line. It's unbelievable. And you know why? Because last year, the Brewers were two pump chumps in the postseason. 2 home game losses and out, which I think is the very cruel nature of this format of Major League Baseball's postseason. Some will say, well, at least a 3-game series is better than a 1-game wild card. I don't know. When you lose 2 in a row and you're out all of a sudden after a great season, which they had last year, had an even better season this year, it's going to stick in your craw. So I hope it's not going to be the case. They may come back tonight. Hopefully they can win tomorrow to force a game 3. Okay.
For most of our lives, the AL and the NL sent 4 teams to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, two. When we were kids, it was the East and the West.
That was it?
Yeah, right. It was like play the pennant. ALCS, NLCS, best of 7. We'll see you in the World Series.
Right.
Yeah.
And
you know what, Church? And we liked it.
Actually,
we didn't know if we liked it or not. It just there wasn't anything else to like. It was what it was.
Right. You could go home to your television.
Right. The Florida Marlins and the Colorado Rockies did not exist when we were growing up. But anyway, okay. So a couple of things.
Do they exist now?
In theory, yes. In reality, not so sure. Eagles Sports Radio 101. You're going to like this audio right here. Shit's hitting the fan in Philly with both Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. Sirianni got roasted because they only ran Saquon Barkley twice in the first 3 series in their loss to Tampa. Sirianni's response was, well, look, we went 3 and out all 3. We ran them twice. That's 3 third downs, so we ran them on 2 out of 6 possible plays. Yeah, that did not placate the media or the fans. Shocker. Also, Jalen Hurts looks like ass, and he missed Barkley on what would have been a broken play 70-yarder by throwing the ball 4 yards onto the chalk.
Yeah.
Brutal, right? So, what do you think about Philly, real quick?
I don't think Hurts is as bad as people are making him out to be. The offensive line has been a lot worse without Kelsey than I thought it was going to be. That was a real loss. But also, they were without Lane Johnson, who's like one of the 3 best tackles in the game. The offensive line was a problem for the whole game. Hurts is not perfect, but he is still a crazy dual threat that defenses have to account for. And by the way, he was playing also without his number 1 or number 2 or number 3 receiver. They were all gone. Then people are mad at your quarterback because he wasn't heroic. I mean, which he would have had to have been in that moment. That's just I think Philly fans, shocking, being short-sighted on this and not seeing all the things that were working against the Eagles coming into that game.
All right, here's a guy for the popular website Crossing Broad. That'd be Broad Street in Philly. Emulating a prototypical Eagles caller at this current time.
Yeah, first time, long time. How you doing? Listen, I've been saying it. No, I'm not on speaker, John. It's Bluetooth. Hold up. Let me roll up the window. John, I've been telling you since day one, this team stinks, and Jalen Hurts is not the guy. Okay, it's Kenny Pickett time, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear excuses. Oh, he doesn't have any weapons, and A.J. Brown's hurt, and Davante's hurt, and Lane Johnson's... Listen, John, I was in this town when the weapons were James Trash, Fred X, and Todd Pinkston, John. I don't want to hear the excuses. Sam Darnold ain't making excuses out there in Minnesota, okay? He's 4-0. I don't hear any excuses from Darnold. But our guys moping around, making excuses. Listen, Jalen Hurts has got to go. No play, Slay's got to go. Listen, they all got to go, John. It's Burlington Coat Factory. Everything must go. The coach, Sirianni, he's done. Listen, I'd rather ask Siri what to do on fourth down than ask Sirianni. This team is a disgrace, John. Yeah,
oh, my
That's
God.
Good.
It's Burlington Coat Factory time. Everything must go. They got a checklist. Connection issues, check. QB controversy, check. Past trauma reference, check. Darnold, mispronounced name, check. No play slay, check. Lower Delco reference, check. Clever play on words, check. Oh, man. But that's what the NFL does. That's why it's a $20 billion industry. Which brings me to my final topic. Congratulations, Charch, on your Vikings. The team from your geographic area was superior on Sunday to the team from my adopted geographic area, Green Bay, Wisconsin. You were flying high. You had the rip-off pants at 1.28-0.
I did.
And then your dipshit punt returner decides to be a hero for some reason, and it put a wrinkle in the matrix and let the Packers get back in the game.
It did. There was some panic there. And the other thing I didn't love was our defense, which is normally like super attacking defense. They just went into a shell. They went into the good old prevent defense and just figured, you know what? We're just going to outlast. Sure, we're going to let the Packers score, but they're going to have to do it slow enough that we're going to outlast them. Well, it virtually cost them the game.
How about
as the prevent defense often does?
How about prevent O on top of the prevent D? I don't think that you guys were nearly as aggressive once you had that big lead. And when you needed to be aggressive, finally, when it was a 6-point game and you're like, fuck, what happened? You march right down close to the goal line and kick the field goal.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Fortunately, when they needed it, they got what they needed at the end of the day. Get this. I mean, nobody saw this coming. The Vikings have trailed for 3 minutes this year.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You've trailed for 3 minutes, and the Dolphins have led for 0 minutes because their only win was on a walk-off field goal in week 1.
Wow.
So
I didn't realize that. That's crazy.
How about that?
Oh, man.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is the bubble going to burst? Well, of course. I'm from Minnesota. I think the bubble's going to burst because it usually does. But for the moment, we're going to ride the fact that right now the Vikings might be the best team in football. Is that possible?
Look, we could have that discussion another time. But I will say this, you're in a good spot. You don't have to be good now. You win now, be good later, as I like to say about the NFL. The months of September and October are to bank wins. Squirrel your nuts, figure out who you are, what you have at the end of the road, and then be good when it matters in January. So we're a long way from that. 4-0 is a great start. I still think the Lions look like a fucking unit. I mean, they looked really good, I thought, on Monday night.
They did. They looked really good. Although that turned into a shootout, too, that I don't think people saw coming.
Right. And I remember a guy who was on this podcast who said, I've got the Lions 3 ways to Sunday on futures bets this year. And that guy is a handsome fella who owns an Oculus Quest 3. or at least is borrowing one from another friend of his.
That's right.
Can you
if I need my dad's, I can go get it.
Can you reiterate how many ways to Sunday you have the Lions leverage this year?
Well, I had them as the Super Bowl champions. So I like the Lions a lot of different ways. A bunch of wins.
Over, you got an over on them as well, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 12. I laddered it 12, 13, 14 wins. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Oh, wow. Laddering.
I know.
Okay, important Guillotine League news.
Yes.
Cash leagues are now available. Explain.
Yes. So now if you don't know a bunch of friends that want to play for prizes and cash, you can just come to our site. And like you always could before, but now you can do it now. This year, you can play and join a public league for prizing against a bunch of other strangers who want you to lose, but you're not going to because you're smart and you listen to the CHOP podcast. So
nice.
Join a league at guillotineleagues.com.
Public cash leagues, I didn't specify.
Yes.
Private cash
Public
leagues, you can always
cash leagues.
play for private. I'm just glad. I had one of the best weeks I've had with a bunch of scrubs I picked up at the last second who all careered it for me, and that is what makes Guillotine Leagues fun. But you know what? I got Davante. Who knows when he's going to be available and where. I got Cooper Kupp. Good luck on that. Been riding Kamara. He's going to give way at any moment now. Mm-hmm. And I had Jellyhead down there in Miami. But now I got Stroud, so picked him up. Paid some money for Stroud, so I'm at least good on that front. All right,
dude, you started, and look, you're underselling. You started Trey Tucker and Dontavian Wicks, who by themselves put up 40 points for your team. That was in some inspired management right there.
Pa-pow.
Well done.
Very lucky. Very lucky. Okay, Charch, is always a pleasure, my friend. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Football is back, and so is winning season at MyBookie. NFL, college football, and a brand new cash-out system give you options on how to bet and to win all season long. First two legs of your parlay hit? Great. Get out while the getting is good. Cash out and use the funds on another bet, or let it ride for the chance at a bigger payday. Use early cash outs as a tool to stay in control of the action at MyBookie. To get started, go to mybookie.ag now and register for an account for free. When you're ready, make your first deposit. Just use promo code ZABE, Charlie, Zulu, Alpha, Bravo, Echo, and grab a welcome bonus on the house. That's promo code ZABE to claim your deposit bonus. And for a limited time, a free chip to use in the MyBookie casino. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.